All right, guys. Welcome back to another video. We're going to start this one off very, very quick informational start. So if you guys hate this, just skip. Don't even bother commenting. I know some of you guys don't like it. Turbo giveaway. Go to lsnasty.com. Get entered to win every item you purchase and enter to win. First link in the description below. lsnasty.com. Also, if you're interested in doing storm work, working with the JDR team, go to your email and send me an email. lsnastylc@gmail.com. Subject line storm work and inquire about it. You gotta have a 3/4 ton truck, some common sense, be reliable, and soon we're gonna require a fuel transfer tank, but it pays himself off in like literally a day or two. So yeah, it's pretty good work. But all right, so today we're talking about the Raw Dog. I like the name. The name works for me. Today is Thursday, so it's the same day as like the two previous videos. Just did the video on the overview of this, and you guys seem to really like the truck. I think there was a couple questions that I saw that were common on there. A couple people said that the welds were like burnt in way too hot. The whole chassis is made out of Dawg R8, so it's not really susceptible to being overheated like Chrome Holley would be. So
doesn't get brittle like
doesn't get brittle. Yeah, no questions there. This is my first time doing anything out of that Dawg R8. It looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. Like I said in the last video, there's a couple little tweaks and things I want to adjust and modify. One being that upper frame rail. For me, it's just it's a comfort thing. I don't feel comfortable with it right there. I feel like if shit hits the fan and you really need to go wheeling that thing, it could get in the way. So, yeah. Wes has like a look on his face like, what's that look? Describe that look.
If we were going to cookout, it'd be a perfect armrest.
A bit high. For those of you guys that don't, I don't have a tape measure. I've been looking for a tape measure for like 3 days around here now. But I did the measurement. You're about 24 inches from bottom frame rail, top frame rail, I think. In one spot where it's a little bit lower, it's 21 inches, which is just...
You can show those.
Yeah, it's just a bit high.
Do you want to sit in there?
Look at the other frame rail too for...
Yeah, so here, I'll sit in this.
Yeah.
Just give you guys an example. Alright, so here's Slick Rick. You gotta think steering wheel's gonna be here.
Plenty of maneuver room.
The outside bar is about in the same. On the Colorado, it's up quite a bit higher. This really is right by my elbow. The Colorado, it's almost up by my shoulder. A little bit of that could be seating position. I mean, it's just a bigger cab. I sit a little bit lower, but here, you know, you can do pretty good. But see, like, I don't know if when you steer, literally that's how you steer. This elbow, it's got a little range of motion it's useful to have, opposed to just being like, most times, you know, I drive with the left hand, but whenever it gets crossed up, generally you know you're on a greasy track and you got to use two hands. So that's one thing that we're addressing right now. So if I go and hop in the Colorado, Wes, run around the other side there.
Also, different seat too.
Yeah, different seat.
Different seating position.
Almost very, very similar seating position. I tried to...
But the frame look is so much higher.
Yeah. So as you can see there, and really it's just a personal preference thing. You know, some people are like, oh man, just leave it, it's fine. Well, you know, it's literally right where I want to swing my arm when I steer. So at the end of the day, I said I was going to set out and build one from start to finish, and I was trying to do a Trans Am. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. So moved on to the Colorado, something different, and I want it 100% the way I want it. So I don't feel like
settling. You've come this far, so
yeah, I don't feel like being like, oh well, it's all right, and then every time I drive the car be annoyed. So we're just gonna cut it out and lower it and be good to go. So some people were like, oh man, why don't you just leave it? But you know, it's a little bit different when it's yours, and you have like anyone that races that's like heavily into motorsports and can look at it and be like, damn, that frame rail is just ridiculously tall. So, and it's not even off the floor. I mean, that's right there. That's 17 inches here. It's 23 from
what's
down
a standard
there. About 10 to 12, I think.
And this one's what did you say, 24?
From the bottom frame rail, but from the floor, it's 17.
Okay.
So it's a little bit taller, but I mean, it's no big deal. We'll get it cut out. We'll get it fixed. I'm not sweating it. But we've been building this for a little bit now. What's another week? So, all right. What I want to talk to you guys today, about is kind of like the parts list that we got going on in this thing, so you guys can expect to see, you know, what you guys can expect to see out of performance.
How was your shit?
All right. So I have my array of electronics that we're going to be running in this car. So if you guys don't know the setup, it is going to be a stock block LS. It's actually the 5.3 world record block, which we were going to go out there and set some records with, but in a much lighter chassis. So still call it the world record block, but not quite sure how far we're going to go with it. Well, I mean, we'll try. But before, I was fairly confident. I was literally going to build a car that weighed like 2,100 pounds with me in it, race ready. And it was going to fly.
And instead you decided to build a Pepsi truck.
Yes. So now we're looking, if I can get it down to 2,600 with me in it.
You still have not learned that light is fast.
Yeah, no. It's like no matter what.
You started out with a cow.
I'm literally cursed. No matter what I could do. Hey, we got light and fast going right there. 481X. Yeah, so we're not going to be as light with a motor like that, a stock block motor. Really, the weight is what kills it. So I'm not sure how hard I'm going to run it. I'm going to put it in here originally. Then I'll probably upgrade to a dart block and make an identical version of the Black Sheep's motor, but solid roller. So that's what we got going on. Obviously, we got a 2-speed transmission. We got a Hughes torque converter, Hughes dump valve. So big shout out to the guys over at Hughes Performance. They make some badass converters, dump valves, transmissions, everything like that. We are going to obviously put a set of QA1 shocks on there.
Damn.
Someone commented and they're like, "Oh, he's going with QA1 shocks. They're junk." Well, I want you guys know, all right, QA1 like made in America. These shocks are all made in America. I know it's like some of you people that have no idea what's going on. This one's been opened. They don't come packaged like this. This is the mod shock. Works very well. Removable valve pack, so you can change the valving at the track. 9-inch travel, made in America. Good looking shock. You can get them in like 7-inch travel. You can do a bunch of different things with these. These are not junk. These are very, very, very good shocks. They're 4-way adjustable. You name another 4-way adjustable shock for this price that works as good. And I have the data to back it up. Every single click you put in this shows in the shock travel data. I mean, y'all can get mad and be like, "Oh, it's a piece of shit Chinese style." Like, it's not. It's made in America. And you can say, "Oh, it's a QA1 makes a junk shock." They don't. You have no data to say that. Every single adjustment I've made on the Black Sheep with this shock, it shows in the data. That right there, listen, I just tell the truth. I tell the facts. I tell you what they are. This shock is badass. I feel like with this shock and the way the valve pack's set up that we go out there and we swing for the fence. We knock tires off a lot. But when we go down in the heat of the day, we were the only car to make it down the heat of the day at Streetcar Takeover, and we flew that pass. Like, we flew.
The shocks were the least of our worries.
Yeah.
Don't Bumblebee also run QA1s?
A bunch of guys run QA1 shocks that are very fast.
Like big hitters. Yeah.
So I see uninformed commenters saying things that they have no idea what they're talking about. I love the QA1 shocks. Running a different spring. I'm actually going to be changing the Black Sheep over to the spring. You get the spring from Racecraft. It is a 55 inch-pound spring. Now, here are the 65 inch-pound springs that we run right now. As you can see, the 55 inch-pound springs are a little bit bigger. Some of you guys said that this was the reason why the spring doesn't fit in the spring pocket on the rear end. This spring fits in the spring pocket on the rear end at ride height, but as it separates, the shock itself, so if you're looking at it, like the front of the car is over here by my elbow and the back of the car is here, the shock tips forward like this, right? So we need to take the upper shock mount and move it back at ride height. So it's a level at extension. As it tips forward, the spring gets into the rear end housing and it gets bound up. So it doesn't matter, conventional spring, unconventional spring, it needs to be adjusted on the chassis. No big deal. We're gonna cut out the back bracing, adjust it, move the top shock bracket back, and we'll be good to go. I'm putting the wrong spring in the wrong box. So y'all
shook right now.
Y'all got me flustered over here. You can't make everyone happy, but I just don't like when people comment stuff that's false, because then other people read the comments, and I don't know why people think other people that are commenting think it's right, but
If it's on, you know what they say. If it's on the internet, it must have must be true.
it must be true. Yeah, that's what it is. So I'm just trying to set the record straight, because people are just making stuff up. Belts, something different here on the belts. Went with a 2-inch strap instead of 3-inch strap. I love these belts. Impact makes a great belt. They're on their fire suit. Bolt-in belts. There's some tabs in the chassis for it already. The 2-inch harness is great because it fits inside your Hans. I run a Hans device. I love it. It's the little things, like I was saying before. It's the little things that you know, really make it nice. You're not fighting with it every time you get strapped in. All right, so I feel like we got some of the basics down. Shifter. Not going with a Mickey 2-speed shifter. We are going with a very sleek shifter, which I like. Chris runs this in his Corvette. This is the B&M Pro Bandit Stealth. So the Stealth means it's narrow, and you don't. I have the bigger version
Just
of the cow.
just the Pro Bandit.
Just the
and
Pro
cow.
Bandit. Yep,
Yeah.
not the Stealth. Going down track, you don't touch it. So all you need to do in the car when you're driving is you need to make sure it's in first gear. So I check it like 12 times before I pull in the beams. The air shifter will bump it to second, and then all you have to do as a driver is put in neutral. That's it. Do your burnout. It's in first gear, bump it to second gear. The shifter, super simple. You can't mess it up. It's got a nice reverse lock, so you're in neutral. You go to back up, pow, put it in reverse. Most 2-speed 400s or transmissions of this caliber, you do not have to have it in reverse to back up. Just put it in neutral, grab the trans brake, you'll be in reverse. A little fun fact for you. You could skip a whole step. You didn't know that, did you? Good.
Wow.
The more you know. So this is the shifter we're going to be running. We're going to take it over to Bissett Performance, and he's going to make a shifter mount when he redoes that upper frame rail mount, and get that stuff knocked right out. Let's see what else we got. All right, so let's get into some Holley stuff. Almost identical setup as the Black Sheep. Holley Dominator, MSD 600. We're going to wire it with a Race Pack Smart Wire, which I've done a video talking about all this stuff before, so it's kind of just like an overview. And the Smart Wire is super nice. It's like a power distribution module, so you run like everything through there. We're going to have headlights, taillights. We can have turn signals if we want. We can have hazards. We can put a horn on it. You can literally do everything through there. We're going to have a button for the starter, the injectors, one to turn the Holley on, and then we got from Modern Racing their electronic kill switch, so we'll have that in the car as well. So shout out to Chris. Chris bought a bunch of those, and I'm just gonna take one and not tell him. I'll be like, hey man, someone came in here and they said they'd pay you back and never did, and it's gonna
He'll
be me.
never watch this. It's fine.
It's gonna be me. So yeah, we got O2 sensors. Got a bunch of stuff over here. All that the Holley stuff. It's just they have a whole. I'll put the part number in the description below for your drag race methanol turbocharged kit, and it comes with everything. MSD starter, I like that starter. I had it on the car when it had the blower on there. Works really good. Bunch of RPM when it cranks over. Trying to figure out what balancer we're running. Not quite sure yet. Got to really get the exhaust on there and see how much room we got. All right, if we go down here, we got a bunch of Motion Raceworks parts, and I got a bunch more on the way. So I got their Dominator mount in their cable saver as well. So if you're running a HP or a Dominator, you 100% need to get their cable saver. It's like $20, and it literally will save you thousands. If you do not have this, you will destroy your stuff. I would be through a bunch of Dominators if I didn't have that. Got their dual shoot parachute launcher handle with the air thing, so we'll have this wired into the VPS, so like it'll be on a timer. You know, anything after 4.7 seconds on like a good run, it'll pop the chutes. So no matter what you do, you'll be good. Or if you see a bunch of yaw, it could tell that the car is getting out of shape. It'll automatically pop the parachutes. That way you can keep both hands on the wheel. Trying to get out of that habit of driving with one hand, I don't really mind it, but I can definitely see why if you have the electronics to support driving with two, it will definitely be more beneficial. We got Doug's whole dual parachute kit. We got an air launcher from him, parachute. Is this an orange one? I haven't even looked yet. Is it an orange one? Oh, it is an orange. I love running the orange parachutes. Yeah, and then we got a bunch of buttons, travel limiters. So I got
manual brakes.
Yeah, a nice little care package from the guys over at Motion Raceworks. Here's some of their chain limiters. These are extremely valuable if you have a race car because you definitely need to limit front end travel. Have a set of these on the Cow. Have a set of these on the Bad Apple. Boosted Rooster had them. And then down here I got some quartermack stuff. I got some door hinges if I get fiberglass doors, some door handles, some Zeus fasteners, another billet adapter. I got a dual parachute mount kit set up for the air launcher. So I got a bunch of really good stuff. I'd say right now the truck is 75% of the way there. The last 10% are probably going to be the most tedious, but you know, we're going to take it over to Visit Performance, and he's going to knock out, you know, another 10% of it. Just do a couple little odds and end things here that he's just way more proficient at than we are. We could do all the stuff in house, but it requires Matt coming down here, and when Matt comes down here, his time is way more valuable doing other things. Matt does a really good job wiring. His fabrication stuff's awesome, but really he's just really super good fit finish, making sure everything's nice and you know, operating as it should. You really got to treat these vehicles like they're like airplane grade. Like, you're not going to get into an airplane if it's leaking oil, you know, or if it's like the alignment's all off, or
Airplanes have carbs.
yeah, yeah. So honestly, that's, if you think about a race car like an airplane, I'm really noticing most all of our losses at the track come from some sort of failure, whether we have a wiring failure from previous wiring, or we have
Generally not being outrun. It's usually something that causes it.
We're not always the fastest out there, but a lot of times you don't have to be the fastest to win. You
No.
just have to be able to go out there, be consistent, have a reliable car, and get down track. And I feel like if you have a reliable car, you can get more consistent at going down track because you're dealing with less shit. If you can go out there and just focus on getting the race car down the track and not worrying about anything else.
If you're out there running around trying to fix your car during the race, then
it's not fun.
it's not fun, and you're not focused on racing.
Fuel pump,
Mechanical fuel pump.
small fuel cell up front.
Small fuel cell up front. I'm going to run the Motion Raceworks fuel pump drive that we had on the Black Sheep that we took off when we switched to mechanical, or sorry,
Draw some.
the
All right.
external oil pump. Still wet some.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so some other things that we're gonna do with the car. We're gonna do a carbon rear firewall, and then might do a carbon like bed cover. Not quite sure how I want to do that yet, but I have all the Zeus rails and everything. If I do want to Zeus it on,
It's already
but
got tabs welded.
yeah, it's got some tabs welded from Bob there to help support the bed. We have to permanently mount the bed, but also make it where it is removable if you want to remove it. Don't think we'll probably be removing the bed a lot, because I really feel like the only time you take the bed off is if you have to do fabrication or just get to like a hard to reach area.
This back half is super sick.
Yeah, the back hat, like this right here is stout. I saw a couple people commented saying it won't cert going through here, but there's different certifications that allow you to go and keep it under the bed and not have everything come out the cab. So that's one thing I'm excited about, because once it's got a bed cover on it, you got some tin on the windows, like it's gonna look clean.
Are you keeping glass? All steel glass?
Yeah, originally we're gonna go all steel, all glass. Just I'm gonna tin it and put it in there, and then when we race the car later on, you know, if I want to do some upgrades, put optic armor in it, do fiberglass doors, Lexan windows, you know, we can do that. But as of now, I just want to get it running. So a couple of odds and end things we got to tweak. I'm waiting on a drive shaft. It's a pretty long drive shaft for a carbon fiber drive shaft. It's 59 inches. So they're waiting on actually material long enough to make it. So that's...
These are from the Salty Chicken, right?
Yep, the shocks off the Salted Chicken. So you're gonna take everything off, paint the chassis, get the rear end, get the bars, get everything powder coated so it looks really nice, and then start putting stuff in there. The dash, I know a lot of people ask what dash we're running. We're going with that Holley Pro Dash, the 6.8 inch dash, and I got the Motion Raceworks dash mount for it for the steering column. So interior, Matt's wiring, when he does a wiring job, is like super clean. So I'm stoked. It's gonna look absolutely awesome. Probably gonna put like fire bottle battery back here, catch can back here, just to kind of even out the weight. Being a truck, it is a little bit nose heavy, but I'm looking forward to running some truck classes and then run some small tire stuff, run that Red Spring, some stock block races. Like,
Also, this is gonna fit in a lot of classes.
that's why I built it. I literally built it as a tool for the channel. You know, I wanted some. Originally, the Salty Chicken, it was like my dream build, and got ripped from my hands.
But I mean, that was going to be just like the Grand National, where it's
It was gonna be like purpose built, you know, like badass radio.
ready to
car.
go to South Georgia, or
Yeah.
you know.
This thing right
5
here, I'm
races a
gonna
year.
set up where we can go out there and race it. You know, if we want to race the 252 list, we can do that. If we want to go and run Go Out Thursday night, we could do that. If we want to go to Darlington, run a 484 shootout, we could do that. You know, like just have
Show up on an open trailer.
open trailer, we could do that. So I'm
And you
excited.
plan on doing no prep stuff with it too, right?
Yeah, we plan on doing no prep stuff. With the timeline, timeline just got completely blown out. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, like the no preps that I was trying to go to,
Those were a few months ago.
yeah, I missed them, and I got some coming up, and I can't stand taking an unprepared car to the track. So I am going to really try to make the Maple Grove Street Outlaws no prep kings, because it's like hometown. but with what I don't know.
When is the 100,000?
For Dig or Die.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I think
That's
it's the
in
same.
July.
I think it's the same weekend as that.
No, I was gonna say that. No,
So-
that's this month.
Is that this
It's-
month?
yeah.
Dig or Die, yeah, Dig or Die's this month. I don't know what
God, that other
weekend.
race is
It's gonna
this
be
month
1,000
too.
degrees out there.
Damn.
That's gonna be tough to get down,
So-
being that hot.
But yeah, that's gonna wrap up today's video. I hope you guys are excited for this build. Raw Dog's gonna be badass. Big shout out Shannon, Bloodbath Racing. He's gonna get the body work all right on it, and we're gonna wrap it. So what color? I'm up in the air right now. I don't know what, but Shannon's gonna get it looking all nice and smooth, and then we'll throw some vinyl down on it. We'll wrap it. Maybe
Hot dog color.
We'll plastic dip it.
I was
the
gonna
whole
say,
thing.
what color would you do Raw Dog?
The hot dog, like just like a faint pink.
Yeah.
Or should we do it Carolina style red?
No, you gotta do it the faint
The
pink
Oscar
because
Mayer color.
Should I wrap it the same color as my truck?
That's more of a
no.
burgundy. That's a sausage dog.
Talking brats now.
Yeah. Talking brats.
All right, well, that's going to wrap today's video. Thank you guys for watching. Comment, subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next upload.
He get the buy this round. Dawg got the buy this round. The Black Sheep on the property. He got the buy to the next round. 15.